Yeah, I feel like everything today is so throwaway. You know, your phone stops working, you get a new phone. Like, your dishwasher stops working, you replace that. And people have done that with cars for years too, but to find something that, is 30 years old and works, like the history of it, the people who have owned it, the people who have cared for it, and the people who have appreciated it enough to care for it, I think that all adds up to the character of a vehicle. So I'm Andy Strauss. We are here in my home bike workshop, and this is what I do for work. It's also what I do for fun. Cars came first. Car was my first word, and it was just something that, I was always interested in. When you're a kid, you're obviously riding bikes, not driving cars, and when you're a kid like myself and my brothers, you're breaking bikes as much as you're riding them. So I started to learn how to fix them out of necessity just to keep my own bike running when I was, 7, 8, 9 years old. And people always told me, when you get your license, you're going to stop riding bikes. And for me, it was, I got my license and that meant that I could throw my bike in the back of the car and it just extended my range. I started as just a general, I guess, shop rat would be a semi-technical term. Just doing anything, anything that needed to be done, whether it was building bikes or basic repairs, doing flat changes. Cannondale does a semi-annual kids bike race. Somebody brings in like a bunch of junky kids bikes, and teams of 3 have like a total of 2 hours to work on them or something and get them race ready. And then it's a relay race. There were some jumps, there was like a water hazard, and the team that I was on won. So when I was working there, one of the guys had like 3 of those in the drawer of his desk. He was like, "Hey, do you want one of these things?" Like, hell yeah, I do. That was from an Urban Assault mountain bike race. I forget what place it was, and the label's all worn off. I think it was 3rd place, 2nd place. Wasn't 1st place. Like actually driving for me is the most fun. And for that reason, I tend to go, gravitate toward cars that are driver's cars. Something that's a little bit raw, a little bit more engaging. And that's certainly something that older cars have, I think, more inherently built into them than newer vehicles do. But it's more about the sound and the feeling and the, just being in motion. And that's magnified so much when that vehicle's a project of yours. The Volvo that I had that car for 8 years and had an idea of what I wanted to build it like, and built it almost more like a proof of concept, and didn't build it for any kind of credit, didn't build it for anybody else's appreciation but my own. Being out in whatever kind of open air, any kind of nature, whatever, it's very relaxing. It helps me get back to a baseline where like you just don't have to really worry about anything. When you're on a ride as a bike mechanic, when you're on a ride with other people, you're like the default guy who's getting his hands dirty when people get flats or, break something. And, when I was a kid, I would take everything apart, take my toy cars apart, and put them back together, and they would never work right. So to like finally be at this point where like I can take something apart, put it together, and it's gonna work, I guess it makes me feel like I've accomplished a lot of growth and used a lot of patience learning how to do things the right way.